she's got this entire story of Hades' rape of Persephone, the allegory of Virgo being
the taking of Helen.
Taken down into winter. Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I find important about this, apart from, and I bring this up all the time, the Venus occultation is not really ever talked about. And to me, that throws an obvious monkey wrench in the entire idea of wandering stars being planets out there, and makes me wonder what other similarities does Venus have with the moon, if that we are missing, if it shares this phasing quality that the moon does. But what I think is important to talk about with this, so there's a lot of symbolism going on here. This is a statue of Persephone, and Dylan rightly explains in his article here about the crescent moon on her head is showing a triplicity, like the goddess Diana, symbolizing the moon, the sun in the female zodiac sign, and Venus. All of those things are, it's a 3-in-1 symbol. But what is important to add to this is that crescent moon can also be seen as an arc symbol. And we're talking about the Holy Sailors. We're talking about this Orlinda. I know it seems like we're getting into tangents away from the Orlinda, but that's what this conversation is going to be like. The Orlindas are springboard to talk about bigger symbolism.
There's a lot in the Orlinda if you understand this system. So that's why. And it's not really about the Orlinda. This stuff is existing. And
it's about, if you go read the Orlinda yourself, that you'll be armed with some of the keys to know some of the things you're looking at outside of just taking it at face value. But I'm going to read, this is from Anacalypsis, Godfrey Higgins. The ship was very often described as a lunar crescent and was mistaken for the moon, and thus she often became an object of adoration when in fact she was not meant to be so. The she's referring to is the moon. If the moon were intended, why should her infant state, the crescent, have always been chosen? Why is she never worshipped when at full or in the quarters by her figure, in the latter of which, on monuments, she would be much the best described? So yeah, why is the moon never shown in any of its phases other than this crescent? I suspect she was never an object of adoration till the meaning of the amphiprumna or Argo was lost. Besides, the moon was very often a male. So here's a plate from Ancient Pagan and Modern Christian Symbolism from 1874.
Real quick, before we get deep into this, what is the Sabbath day, the holy day of the Muslims? It's Fria's day, Friday. Mary's day, it's Venus's day, right? And what does the Quran say, or the Al-Quran say about Mary? Apparently, it mentions Mary more than the Bible does. And it says, "O Mary, truly God has chosen thee and purified thee and has chosen thee above the women of the world. O Mary, be devoutly obedient to thy Lord, prostrate and bow with those who bow."